So let's see if we can find the values of 3 of these common angles, and these are just random. So let's say we pick out the sine of 60 degrees, and we'll look at the cosine of 30, and we'll look at the tan of, say, 45 degrees. So again, these are just 3 random ones that I've picked out. I suggest you write a few down yourself and then just try and work through them. So if we're looking at the sine of 60 degrees, we can draw our little triangle, and our sides are going to be equal, length 2, so that's going to be 2, 2 and 2. So we drop our line perpendicular down here, or altitude I should say, and that means that this length here will become 1 and this length here will become 1. But we know all of these angles are going to be equal, so that's got to be 60, 60 and the big angle 60. So if we write these in, that's going to be 60, this one's going to be 60, and of course that will be 60, which means both of these will be 30 each. So now we can look at the sine. So the sine is going to be the opposite over the hypotenuse, or if you like you can say the y upon the r. So what is this length here? Well, that length is going to be, by Pythagoras, 2 squared, which is 4, plus minus the 1, which is going to be 3, and it's going to be the square root of it, so that's going to be root 3. So this length here is going to be our root 3. So it means that the sine is going to be this length here, root 3 over the 2. So the sine is going to be given by root 3 upon 2. So that's the sine of 60 degrees. So we can do the same here for the cosine. We don't need to draw it out again. We can simply look at the cosine. So now the angle here is the 30 degrees, so that's this angle in here. Now the cosine is going to be the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So for this angle here, this is the adjacent, and this is the hypotenuse. So the adjacent is going to be root 3 and the hypotenuse is going to be 2. So it means that the cos of 30 is going to be root 3 upon 2. So it's the same value. The sine of 60 is the same as cos of 30. So finally we could do the tan 45. So we know when we get the 45 it's slightly different. We know that we do only a triangle which is going to have length 1 and 1, and this will give us a root 2. So that will be 45 degrees, and this here will be 45 degrees. So the tan is going to be the opposite over the adjacent, or equivalent, we could just say the y upon the x. So that's going to be 1 upon 1, so that's just going to give us a value of 1. So these are handy things to be able to work out yourself. When I say handy, they're handy for exams, because really if it is outside exams you can always rely on a calculator, but it's good to be able to work through and get these common values. I suggest you write down a few yourself and give these a go and try and work out a few examples of yours by yourself. So thank you for listening. I'll get you on the next video. Goodbye.